down a bit, yeah. A little bit down.
Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, we will be starting in about 5 minutes. Just giving you heads up, inshallah, we'll be starting in about 5 minutes.
Sorry I'm so late.
Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, we'll be starting in 1 minute. السلام عليكم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Inshallah, we're going to start right now. If I can have your attention to the podium, we'll start with Quran recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا. هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا مع إيمانهم ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عليما حكيما. ليدخل المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ويكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وكان ذلك عند الله فوزا عظيما. صدق الله العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Anssar Academy graduation ceremony. My name is Shamima Elias, and I'll be your MC for the evening. Our students have been working really hard all year to prepare this special event for you all, and they're so excited for you to see it. So without further ado, I'd like to first, actually before we kick off, just to make sure everyone knows the procedures in terms of an emergency, please use the 4 doors. So we have 2 on the right, 2 on the left, in case of an emergency to make an exit. And inshallah, let's start it off. So Sophia Ibrahim is a member of the Anssar Academy Youth Group graduating this year. Oh, actually, let's take it a step back. Sophia will come in a little bit. We're going to start with a procession of the youth graduating this year.
نو خليكي خلاص شي حاجة. So I need to call them now, right? The four. Tuba? Come on, everyone, Tuba. Can you make that room, please, for Tuba? Then we start in number one.
وسيلة وسيلة
Where is Sila?
وسيلة
Okay. So you pass that mic. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, start.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقل رب زدني علما. O Allah, increase me in knowledge.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سلوا الله علما نافعا وتعوذوا بالله من علم لا ينفع. The Messenger of Allah said, ask Allah for beneficial knowledge and seek refuge with Allah from knowledge that is of no benefit.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. O Allah, inspire me to always be thankful for your favors, which you have blessed me and my parents with, and to do good deeds that please you. Admit me by your mercy into the company of your righteous servants.
اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك تباركت ربنا وتعاليت.
So we can stop.
mashallah, let's give a big round of applause for the Anssar Academy students here. Now I'd like to welcome back Sophia Ibrahim. She's going to share some reflections about being a high school graduate this year.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Sophia Leila Ibrahim, and I am a senior in the Anssar Academy Youth Group. I want to first begin by thanking each and every one of you for coming to such an event that we have been planned for many, many hours, and it's made to dedicate, and it's made to honor the fantastic students that Anssar Academy has here and their outstanding achievements. And for me in particular, Anssar Academy has been a home, and it's become a home all throughout these years. And you could even call it my home away from home, if you will. And it's not just because Brother Mateen Ibrahim is actually my brother, who he is the youth group mentor, but it's because of the loving community that we have here. And for me, Anssar Academy was a place that I would be able to learn the teachings of my religion. But when it came to the youth group, that is where I put everything that I learned together, and I truly began to grow. Looking back on the 4 memorable years and all the ones spent in Anssar Academy, I really applaud the structure and the way that the academy is made to where it truly fosters our students, and it truly fosters their development all throughout their life and in every single avenue. And as I stand here before you all today, I feel a little bit nostalgic and even a little sad that these are my last few moments here. But as I become an alumni in this very moment, I sincerely thank Anssar for making me the person that I am today. And so I want to thank and take a special moment to thank each and every person that made a huge impact on me. And so first and foremost to Sister Huwaida, I think she's outside, but to Sister Huwaida. Thank you for constantly pushing me to be better always in every way. To Dr. Taif, thank you for always letting me. Thank you for always letting me bug you with my questions. To Sister Asma, I think there she is. You always have the greatest advice. Thank you so much. To Brother Mateen, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for always making youth group so fun. To Imam Qaisar, right here. Thank you so much for showing me how beautiful Islam is. And to all the amazing sisters that cook our lunch. Amazing food, by the way. Just want to take a time to thank those sisters. They're very great at what they do. And to all the individuals who are behind the scenes coordinating this, the people that we don't see all the time, we all want to thank them and give them a nice round of applause. So thank you. But yeah, most importantly to me also is the amazing friends that I made here, especially all the wonderful sisters in my youth group, and even the little kids. I enjoyed every moment that I had here, and especially with the girls that are in my grade. But most importantly, the most important one, I do want to thank my beautiful mother for always guiding us. For always guiding us to the masjid. I owe her all my accomplishments and my achievements. And so, to conclude, I do want to express gratitude one more time for the place that supported me in every way possible. And I look to the younger kids here, and I know that they are in good hands, and I'm so happy for the futures they have in front of them. I am proud to be an Anssar student, and I will always be proud to wear that on my sleeve, and I will forever harness the teachings that I obtained throughout my life here. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Sophia, for those beautiful words. Let's give her one more hand. All right, next up, we have a few Anssar students from different grade levels, actually, coming together to share some lessons they've learned from the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'd like to welcome, please join me in welcoming Usman Bari from 5th grade, Muhannad Zabawi from the Level 2 After School Program, and Bushra Abdul Karim from 6th grade.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Bushra Abdul Karim and I'm in 6th grade. On May 7th, we shared with you so many stories about Prophet Muhammad's life in Medina. Today, I would like to share the lessons learned from his life in Medina. Prophet Muhammad's life in Medina was marked by several important events and accomplishments. Here are some of the key lessons that can be learned from his life during that period. Number 1 is unity. One of the most important lessons from Prophet Muhammad's life in Medina is the importance of unity. Upon his arrival, he established the first Islamic state and he worked tirelessly to unite the various tribes and communities living in and around Medina. Number 2 is community building. Prophet Muhammad also focused on community building in and around Medina. He established a constitution that outlined the rights and responsibilities of all members of the community, regardless of their religion or background. Number 3 is social justice. Prophet Muhammad continued to champion social justice in Medina, establishing systems for the distribution of wealth and resources, advocating the fair treatment of all members of society. Number 4 is leadership. Prophet Muhammad's leadership in Medina provides important lessons for leaders today. He led by example, demonstrating humility, compassion, and integrity. He sought the input and advice from his companions and the wider community. Number 5 is military strategy. During his time in Medina, Prophet Muhammad also demonstrated military prowess, successfully leading his followers in several battles against their enemies. His strategies include the his strategies, including his use of intelligence and diplomacy, provide valuable lessons for military leaders today. Overall, Prophet Muhammad's life in Medina demonstrates the importance of unity, community building, social justice, and military strategy. These lessons remain relevant today and can be applied in a wide range of contexts.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Usman Berry and I'm in 5th grade. On May 7th, we shared many stories about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life in Mecca. Today, I would like to share the lessons learned from these stories. Number 1, Tawheed. Prophet Muhammad's message in Mecca was focused on the oneness of Allah, or Tawheed. He called upon the people of Mecca to abandon their idols and worship the one true God. Number 2, perseverance in the face of adversity. Prophet Muhammad faced immense challenges in Mecca, where he was met with hostility and opposition. Despite this, he persevered in spreading his monotheism and social justice message. This teaches us the importance of persistence and resilience in the face of challenges. Compassion and forgiveness. Despite the persecution he faced, Prophet Muhammad showed compassion and forgiveness towards his enemies. He famously forgave the people of Taif after they stoned him, and he forgave the people of Mecca after their ultimate surrender. Number 4, social justice. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was also a champion of social justice, calling for the fair treatment of the poor and vulnerable members of society. This message was particularly relevant in Mecca, where there was great inequality and exploitation. In conclusion, we learn from his sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life in Mecca to always. Number 5, trust in Allah. Throughout his time in Mecca, Prophet Muhammad put his trust in Allah and relied on him for support and guidance. This trust helped him to remain steadfast in the face of adversity and to continue spreading his message despite the challenges he faced. In the end, all this teaches us is the importance of faith and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially in difficult times.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Dawabi. I attended Anssar Academy after school program. On May 7th, we shared with you so many stories about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam early childhood life. Today, I would like to share the lessons learned from his early childhood life in Mecca. The childhood of the Prophet Muhammad provides several important lessons that are still relevant today. Here are some of the key lessons that can be learned from his early life. Number 1, the importance of family. Prophet Muhammad was raised in a close-knit family that placed a high value on love, respect, and kindness. His relationship with his mother was practically strong, and her death had a great impact on him. Number 2, the importance of education. Despite growing up in a society that placed little value on education, Prophet Muhammad was known for his love of learning. He sought knowledge wherever he could find it. And his thirst for knowledge helped to shape his later life and teachings. Number 3, the importance of character. Prophet Muhammad was known for his good character and moral behavior from a young age. He was honest, trustworthy, and kind, and he was respected by his peers and elders. Number 4, the importance of perseverance. Prophet Muhammad faced several challenges during his childhood, including the loss of his parents and the poverty that he and his family experienced. Despite these challenges, he remained resilient and persevered through hard work and determination. Number 5, the importance of spirituality. Even as a child, the Prophet Muhammad was known for his spiritual inclinations. He would often spend time in solitude and contemplation, seeking a deeper connection with God. Number 6, overall, the lessons from the childhood of Prophet Muhammad highlight the importance of family, education, character, and perseverance, and spirituality. These lessons can be applied to our own lives and can help us to become better individuals and members of society. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Wow, mashallah. Thank you, Bushra. Thank you, Muhammad and Usman, for sharing these beautiful lessons that you've learned all throughout the year. Let's give them one more hand. And I'd like to give a special thank you to Sister Shazia, Sister Hala, and Sister Maheen, who have helped them learn all throughout this year and helped them prepare these beautiful speeches. Thank you. So as you may know, on May 7th, actually, we celebrated kindergarten through 6th grade, all their students' accomplishments, and you can find the full video on the Anssar Academy YouTube page if you'd like to see these performances. Now I'd like to invite Sister Hind up to the stage here. Sister Hind is our mental and community health instructor, and she'll be introducing some upcoming events and workshops for parents and students.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hind Musaitif, and I'm delighted to introduce myself as the community health educator over here with Anssar Academy. Over the past 2 years, I had the privilege of volunteering with Anssar Academy. We did such as story time with the kids, and also we did a workshop for modesty, protection and modesty. And also we hosted our Muslim family counselor from Orange County, and we had our first parenting workshop. And after this successful workshop and also the amazing feedback from the parents, I received, after even announcing the classes we're going to be offering on May 7th, I received amazing messages and feedbacks from the parents that stating how much we need these classes in our community. That's why, based on the success of these workshops, we are excited. We have exciting plans for our upcoming fall semester. In the fall semester, we'll be introducing the class Defend Young Minds for students and also for parents. For students age 2nd grade to 6th grade, this class will be aiming on educating our students about technology and how to navigate the digital world responsibly. Our goal is to equip them with the necessary tool to protect their brains from the potential harm of excessive technology use, and to empower them to utilize these tools to benefit them on the long run. And also to ensure the success of these tools, we are offering this same class for parents, as their involvement and understanding are crucial to support their children. Additionally, we are offering also another class for parents for kids age 2 to 8, and this class will be focusing on offering guidance and support for parents for younger kids, and it will be based on the book for Nuha Shukairi, and it's going to be a positive parenting in the Muslim home. And I would like also to thank Sister Huwaida and Dr. Taif because for the past 2 years, every time I throw a suggestion for them, they accept it with an amazing heart. And I'm really, as a parent for students in Anssar Academy, if I see someone who's passionate about having my kid to be successful in this life, I will hand my kids to them because I trust them on how much passionate they are for these students to be a successful Muslim kids. That's why we're offering these classes for mental and parenting classes to ensure these students to be a well-rounded Muslim for our future, for their future. Thank you so much for offering these classes for our community to develop, to have a journey of knowledge and to work collectively toward raising the Muslim individuals we can. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you.
We have lots of really exciting programs coming up, and I'm so excited to see all these programs come enter Anssar Academy and benefit our youth. Next up, we have a presentation from Youth 1. They have selected their own topics that they've really enjoyed learning this year, and they're excited to share it with you all.
Assalamu alaikum. We are Youth 1 girls, and today we will be presenting Khawla bint al-Azwar. Khawla was born in the 7th century and was a strong woman of Islam. Her brother was Dirar and her husband was Anas ibn as-Samait. Khawla was also a part of the Bani As'ad tribe.
She was one of the bravest women in Islam. Her job was to protect or be a warrior and fight in battles. If she didn't have a sword in her hand, she would be providing medical care for the sick people.
Her brother taught her how to fight, and she fought alongside her husband. While she was fighting, she always kept her identity a secret. Until the Battle of Ajadain, no one knew who she was when something happened, and then her identity was leaked. One time, she was leading the army and fought so hard, some of the enemies thought she was Khalid ibn Walid, who was the sword of Allah.
A nickname that Khawla gained while fighting in the wars was the Brave One. These wars were in Syria, Jordan, and Palestine. In the year 636, she fought in the Battle of Yarmouk against the Byzantine Empire. She gained more women in Islam and went on to fight against the Byzantine Empire and defeated its chief commander. Later on, she was injured by fighting a Greek soldier.
Because of her amazing legacies, there are many schools and places named after her. One of these is located in the United Arab Emirates. This is the first military college for women. The name is Khawla bint Azwar Training College. To this day, she is still a role model to young women due to her courage.
Khawla also has many different accomplishments. She has written a famous book by Al-Waqidi. The name of this book is The Liberation Word of Al-Sham. She has also won many battles in her time. She killed more than 30 soldiers during wars and defeated 5 strong knights in the Roman military.
Another reason why Khawla was a strong woman in Islam is because of her personality. She was diligent, fierce, brave, prominent, and most of all, inspiring. She was often cited as the lioness of the desert, which shows how good of a fighter she was.
Khawla was also a very independent woman and did not wait for a man to come help her. She led many armies and started battles to defend her and the other women. It is stated that a soldier said, "Our women were much tougher with us than the Romans themselves. We felt that fighting again and dying was much easier than facing the fury of our women later."
So parents, sorry, there's going to be a little twist. Our students are going to be asking a question. So parents who knows the answers, raise your hand. There's a $10 gift card from Starbucks. You guys don't answer, the student gets to keep it.
The question is, what is the name of the school that was named after Khawla bint al-Azwar?
I think it's Khawla bint al-Azwar Training School.
Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum. This is our presentation about Yasir Qadi.
Background. Yasir Qadi was born on January 30th, 1975 in Houston, Texas, and is son to Pakistani parents. He completed his education in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Since 2001, he has served as a dean at Al Maghrib Institute Center in Houston, Texas. He is also a professor at Rhodes College in the Department of Religious Studies. He currently lives in Plano, Texas.
Accomplishments. Yasir Qadi has a master's degree in theology from Islamic University of Medina. He is a professional and he studied multiple hadiths. To add, Qadi is a scholar of the East Plano Islamic Center. He also taught many religious studies at Rhodes College.
Qadi has published 14 different books on Islamic topics. The New York Times Magazine has described him as one of the most influential conservative clerics in American Islam. Qadi always tries to be a generous and charitable person, and he posts lecture series on YouTube where he has over 500,000 subscribers.
Yasir Qadi has impacted a lot of people because of how far around the world he is reaching people. One way he uses his platform to spread an effect of Islam is by inspiring many Muslims by educating them about the religion. Some inspired topics are about how Islam promotes peace and also the understanding of the Quran.
Seventh graders at Anssar Academy watched some of his lectures, and here's what they had to say. His voice is beautiful and soothing. The topics that he discusses vary significantly from commonly discussed Islamic topics. One of his videos discusses a topic I've never seen discussed by a sheikh before. It was titled, "The Delusions of Life."
Thank you for listening.
And here's our question. How many books has Qadi published on Islamic topics?
We have an Anssar student.
36.
Is that correct answer?
Is it working? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we're talking about Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi. Salahuddin al-Ayyubi was born in the central Iraqi city of Tirkit in 1137. He was of Kurdish descent, and his father and uncle were both elite military generals under the command of Nuruddin Zinki, who governed northern Syria at the time and captured many cities from the Crusaders. After growing up in Damascus and rising through the ranks, Salahuddin Ayyubi joined his uncle's army to go capture Egypt on an expedition.
Some of his accomplishments is that he defeated an army of Crusaders in the Battle of Hattin and captured Jerusalem in 1187. He's the founder of the Ayyubid dynasty, and he is admired by his enemies as an exemplar of the Christian ideas.
Question for the audience. What is Salah ad-Din Ayyubi's greatest accomplishment? Say it again. No. It is? This one? Oh, yeah.
I think he wanted the $10 for himself. You can go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mustafa, and today I'll be talking to you about Osama ibn Zayd. So, his father was the adoptive son of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he was very close to him, since Osama was like a grandchild to the Prophet. And since he was close to the Prophet, he had a very strong iman, and that led him to participate in a lot of wars at such a young age.
Osama ibn Zayd became commander of the city of Al-Hakra during the 8th year of migration. He became a commander at 15 and he was appointed by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's death, the three caliphate got command from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to trust Osama ibn Zayd to be the commander.
He was given a larger salary than other caliphate, Umar's son, because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam trusted him. He was humble. He left Medina to avoid arguments.
Osama bin Zayd was one of the most trusted people by the Prophet ﷺ at the young age of 16. Not a lot of people would be trusted at the age of 16, but he was appointed to be a military commander at that age by the Prophet himself.
In the end, he died a peaceful death due to all the things he learned from the Prophet. Osama shows us how much responsibility he shows after puberty. Thank you in the end.
All right, so our question is, what age did Osama ibn Zayd become commander? Yeah. It's a Starbucks card.
You guys can.
Today we will be talking about halal money. Within the idea of halal money, riba is a major concept. The exact definition of riba is exceeding or increasing. But in the context of this presentation, it represents interest. As stated in the Quran, riba is haram, but there is some disagreement about what riba constitutes.
Whether it is all interest or excessive interest, what is universally agreed is that riba is all around us. From the saving accounts we open to the credit card debits we pay.
So, if interest is haram, how would a Muslim banker make money? They would use a system called mubarah, where the buyer and seller would agree on a price regardless of how much time the debt is left unpaid.
Halal money is a term used to describe money earned through lawful and ethical means by Islamic principles.
Another way to earn haram money is gambling. It is haram because Allah has forbidden it. Gambling destroys families and causes the losses of wealth through haram means.
Gambling is haram because gambling makes a person rely on actions, luck, which instead of hard work. Gambling make people stray away from Allah and start to become lazy. Gambling makes families separate and causes stress, illness, and nervous breakdowns.
It is stated in the Quran that games of choice, including massive Eve, a grave sin and an embarrassment of Satan's handiwork. It is also mentioned in the Hadith.
The concepts of halal and haram money were taught to us by Sheikh Mustafa Omar. We appreciate the time that each and every guest speaker spent with us while providing a variety of interactive, enjoyable, and fascinating perspectives. The spread of information and discussion throughout Sundays keep classes engaging and supply a diversification of distinct information. Thank you.
Now what happens?
Before we end our presentation, the question for the group is, what is the exact definition of riba? Yeah. No, not the student. Not the student. Just give it to me. Go ahead.
Wow, youth group, thank you for keeping us on our toes and teaching us some of the things that you've learned this year. Next up, we have two Anssar students representing the youth program who will be sharing their reflections about this school year. I'd like to first start by welcoming to the stage Noor Azrak.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Noor Azrak, and I am in Youth Group Boys 1. This youth group gives very special opportunities to students by teaching them through the use of multiple guest speakers and not just a single teacher. I believe this better helps students because these lessons can become memorable, and these guest speakers can easily bond with the students. Based on this, Anssar, in my opinion, is a great way to learn about Islam in more depth and a great way to connect with other teachers. The knowledge these speakers gave me does not come from just books. In fact, some topics like the management of money in Islam can be applied authentically in the real world and have helped me become a better Muslim and a better human. I appreciate the knowledge I gained from the youth group and the scholars themselves. The knowledge from these scholars goes beyond Anssar's walls and into the real world. For example, one guest speaker taught us methods to help organize our religion and the real world so that both are in balance. Our scholars taught us Islamic principles while still keeping it fun and interactive. One event that comes to my mind is when we went and shot bows and arrows during a topic about the principles of Islamic warfare. Anssar Academy is an institution that I highly recommend for all youth that wants to learn about Islam in a fun and engaging way. I thank everyone I met in Anssar Academy on my journey throughout this institution. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I wish you much hope in the future.
And next up, we have Tasneem Ilyas.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. Dear parents, teachers, and family, my name is Tasneem Ilyas, and today I stand before you today to share a reflection on my year in Anssar Academy's youth group. This year at youth group, it has provided me with an amazing education about our deen and Islam that has nurtured a sense of community that has profoundly impacted my life. During this year, I have experienced the true essence of community, from the caring teachers who have guided me with patience and dedication to the to the friendships forged with fellow students. This school has been a place where I have felt a deep sense of belonging. Together, we have grown, learned, and celebrated our achievements as a tight-knit family. Beyond the bonds of community, this school has played a significant role in shaping my characters and values. Central to this development has been the emphasis on Islamic teachings here at Anssar Academy. Through engaging lessons, discussions, regular prayers, and rigorous memorization classes, I have not only deepened my knowledge of Islam, but also gained a deeper understanding of its principles and values. And something that I really appreciate about this school is that they really encourage all of us to learn more about those small things that everyone doesn't put an emphasis on to build anymore. It's those small things that make this program special. They organize weekly lectures across varying topics such as halal money, modesty, how to perfect our salah, and especially lectures on how to stand as a strong Muslim youth in a Western world. And it's these weekly meetings that have provided with me and the rest of these students with a strong foundation that has instilled in me and all of the others a strong moral compass and a profound appreciation for the importance of compassion, integrity, and respect. One thing I started to notice this year as I entered high school was the importance of an easily accessible Muslim community for youth. And that's exactly what this school is. It's a place where any one of us can come together and not feel like the odd one out. Are wearing a hijab, not eating pork, and other behaviors are the norm and not a difference. And this school has equipped me with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in an ever-evolving world. Attending Anssar Academy has been truly a transformative experience for me. The youth program gave me an amazing community while nurturing my personal growth and understanding of Islam. I will forever cherish the memories and values instilled with me during my time here, and I am grateful to attend this school for the next few years in Youth 2. Thank you.
All right, let's give one round of applause to all our student performers. So I have a few announcements for us before we continue with the rest of the program for the evening. Anssar Academy's summer program for children and youth this year will be very rich. We have lots of really exciting programming coming up. So make sure to get the flyer to know more about our flexible summer program for this year. And a less maybe exciting note, but Sunday school report cards will be sent out by mail this year pretty soon as well. All right, next up we have a discussion panel on the importance of Islamic education. This panel will be moderated by Sister Faria here.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good afternoon, parents, staff, and community. My name is Farial Billah. I'm a parent of a child who goes to Anssar Academy, as well as a licensed educator in the state of California. Today, we have a panel of young professionals who have graduated from Anssar Academy, and they will be sharing their experiences and giving us some insight why it's so important to attend and get an Islamic education. But before we go ahead and do that, I know we've heard some amazing presentations so far. So parents, could you just stand up and just stretch and just take a deep breath? Can I ask everyone to just stand up for a minute, please? Just stand up. Stand up. All right, just stretch a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Please have a seat. So I just wanted to add that, it's really important for us, as parents to have our students, participate, go to Islamic schools and get an education. It's a foundation for them to grow and learn in an ever-changing world. And we want them to be informed, righteous human beings as they grow up, as they make their path to college, career, and civic life. So today I have panels, young professionals who are here. I'd like to ask them to please introduce yourself. Please tell us if you're in a particular career or going to a particular school, and which Anssar Academy programs have you gone to and when. So I'm just going to pass the mic on. Ladies, you want to start first?
Assalamu alaikum again. My name is Shamima Elias. I've been attending Anssar Academy, or I attended Anssar Academy for quite a few years actually, since I was in 3rd grade, so that's 2008, and I attended it all throughout until I finished high school, so in 2017. So it was very much home for me in a lot of ways. After high school, I attended Stanford University, and I graduated with my undergrad in political science and my master's in sustainability. And now I'm working at Bloom Energy, and an energy technology company in the Bay Area.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Reel. I don't even remember when I started Anssar Academy because I've been here since I was a kid. Like before memory even existed, I was here. But I graduated from the Sunday school program in May of 2019. I recently just graduated from UCLA with my Bachelor's of Science in Psychobiology. I'm currently in my gap year, planning on applying to dental school soon, inshallah. So give me 6 years if you guys need your teeth fixed. Inshallah, that'll be me to help.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Indra. I graduated from West Coast University. I'm currently a registered nurse. I work in the ICU. And I went to Anssar Academy probably, wow, it's been a while, maybe 2012 to 2013, 14. It's been a while. Alhamdulillah, I was privileged to be one of the youth who actually attended Umrah that year. And wow, it was very life-changing. And there's so many things I could say about Anssar Academy, but I just feel that the main thing that I agree with everyone who's spoken before me, it's like a second home, a safe haven where we can come together as Muslims in like, a Western society. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Arif. I graduated from UCLA last year in June, and I'm a biology major, and I'm actually currently in the process of applying to medical school. And dating back to when I was in Anssar Academy, I was here from 2015 to 2016. So it was a while back, but I loved my time here. It was amazing, and I learned a lot. So.
Thank you for those introductions. Our first question is, how can Islamic education shape moral and ethical values in our youth today?
So, in order to understand how Islamic education is essential and effective in developing moral and ethical values, we need to understand what public schools do to create what they call personal values based on societal needs. So public schools do not incorporate or allow discussions centered around God. Rather, they base moral and ethical values on self-fulfillment and instant gratification. Islamic education does the complete opposite. So through the teachings of the Quran and the Hadith, young people can learn about compassion, humility, respect, and honesty. And these values are essential to building a strong and just society. Islamic education also emphasizes the importance of seeking knowledge, which can help young people make informed and ethical decisions in their personal and professional lives. By instilling these values and principles, Islamic education can help create a generation of responsible and compassionate leaders who will help contribute to the community. And in Islamic school, you're surrounded by others who have similar good morals, and you are more likely to take on those good qualities and views. Looking at this from a personal perspective, I can definitely say that with my time spent at Anssar Academy and receiving my Islamic education, it allowed me to build my character along with my values in order to become a more well-rounded person.
Thank you.
By building a solid foundation of what we value as Muslims in an ever-changing society, our youth will be guided with their moral compass to help them understand and determine the right and the wrongs, especially in our current society where everything that we deem impermissible or haram is starting to become normalized, especially in public schools, in everyday life. As the youth grew older, they will become unshaken due to them sharpening their morality and ethical values at such a young age, no matter what fitna they may face. So that's what I believe. Thank you.
Yeah, so personally, when I think of morals and ethics, I think of Islam. Islam is essentially a guide, a moral and ethical code that we live by, teaching us how to conduct ourselves, in this dunya, and while we're trying to navigate, obviously, the increasing pressures of today's world. Islam teaches us important values of justice, compassion, fairness, equality. I mean, I don't want to keep you guys until tomorrow, but all of these important values that shape us into the people that we are today. And in reality, when it comes to morality, it may differ from person to person. I may ask you, oh, is this thing okay? And you're like, yeah, I think that thing is okay. I can ask the next person, they'll be like, nah, I don't think that's okay. So I think it's important for us to have an objective baseline of what is right and what is wrong, so we have some guidance on how to navigate our lives. And who better to give us that guidance than the one who created us, the one who knows what's in our hearts, the one who knows our nature, and the one who wants the best for us ultimately. And we're given the Quran, and we're given the Hadith, and we're given these great individuals to look up to, who have taught us how to conduct ourselves morally and ethically. So that's why I think Islamic education is the most important thing that we can instill our youth with, so they know how to, basically giving them the tools that they need to stay on the right path. It's very, very important. I honestly couldn't imagine where I would be without having that foundation in my youth, and being in Sunday school programs and understanding what it means to be a Muslim, especially in today's times. And our youth are going to be the future leaders one day, so it's important that they have that strong deen so that they can continue to represent our Islamic faith in society.
Yeah, just echoing what everyone else has already brought up here. I think ultimately, Islam is a way of life, and it's something that we keep near and dear to our hearts in all walks of life, from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, and even in your dreams. And so I think having this strong Islamic education that you've learned all throughout your life gives you the confidence to know that you can get through the day-to-day, all the challenges that come up. And it's really important that our youth have this so that they're well equipped to handle any challenges that they face on the day-to-day as well.
MashaAllah, such well-thought, developed, and mature answers. This is a great example of what you see ahead for our future, for our children. The second question I'd like to ask is, in what ways can Islamic education prepare young people for their professional and their personal lives?
Yeah, so this question, I think adding on to what we said before as well, especially when you come to, you graduate college in itself, high school in itself, college in itself is a hard thing for people to go through, especially keeping close to your Islamic values. But then, you enter the real world, so to say, and this professional career that you have before you. I think especially having these strong Islamic tenets near and dear to heart helps you navigate when you go throughout your career, the choices that you make, the next steps that you decide on, what you even decide is your career in the first place, as well as the day-to-day work, professional relationships that you have to maintain. It's something that seeps through in every aspect of your life, and having these core tenets allows you to navigate in a more centered way that feels near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what Shamima said. I think that having an Islamic education and Islamic principles gives you a sense of purpose and direction in your life. Because honestly, I think if I didn't have Islam, I would just be so lost, and I think we can all agree to that. Islam gives us a sense of purpose in every single aspect of what we're doing in our lives. And I think it also helps protect us from things that are harmful and not good for us. So I think that that's also really important, and kind of like, based on the last question, it gives us a moral and ethical guide that allows us to put deen in the forefront and helps us navigate, what we need to do in our lives. And I think that that has a huge effect on our interpersonal relationships with our family, with our friends, and, in our professional lives with bosses and coworkers, and honestly, everyone that we meet. Being able to conduct ourselves in a way that reflects the qualities of a good Muslima and, Muslim. So I think that that's really important. And I also think, just from personal experience, I think having a good foundation of deen also really protects our children from, I mean, I don't have children, but the children, the youth, from peer pressures. Obviously, in today's day and age, peer pressures are just getting increasingly worse, especially with social media, and just access to information. So I think it's important that our children have that foundation so that when they do get to college and you kind of have to take the training wheels off and let your kids make decisions for themselves, that you're confident they're going to make the right choices and not be affected by all those distractions, in the Western world.
Not only will the Islamic education prepare our youth with determining what is right and wrong, but also preparing our youth with how they present themselves. From the way they carry themselves amongst their peers, amongst their teachers, parents, in future universities, and also future workplaces. The Prophet Muhammad did not become a prophet until the age of 40. And when he delivered the message, and the early Sahaba at the time admired him for his honesty, his character, and his credibility as a person. And so I believe that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our youth with becoming pious, sincere, and showing phenomenal character wherever they may go. And so with having Islamic education, it just gives our youth a tool with how to deal with our modern world today.
And we're going to ask you one last question now. What role can parents play in their kids?
I think I need to answer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
It's hard to see from here.
No worries. Okay, so through the teachings of the Quran and the Hadith, students are taught important values such as compassion, honesty, and responsibility, which can help them to develop strong character and integrity. And additionally, Islamic education can provide students with a deep understanding and appreciation of the world around them, helping them to become more knowledgeable and well-rounded individuals. In terms of preparing for professional success, Islamic education can also provide students with a strong work ethic and commitment to excellence. So through the emphasis on discipline and hard work, students are encouraged to develop a strong sense of responsibility and dedication to their studies and their future careers. This can help them to achieve their goals and become successful in their chosen fields. Overall, Islamic education can be a valuable tool for preparing young people for success in both their personal and professional lives. By instilling important values and providing a strong foundation for learning and growth, Islamic education can help students become confident, capable, and successful individuals.
Thank you. And our final question for today is, what role can parents play in their kids' Islamic education?
Okay. So I'm not a parent myself. However, by speaking to close family members who are parents, I will try my best to convey what I believe a parent's role should be in their kids' Islamic education. So I believe that parents play a crucial role in their children's Islamic education. They should strive to provide a nurturing and supportive environment that fosters a love for learning and a strong connection to Islamic values and teachings. This can be achieved by regularly reading and discussing the Quran and the Hadith with their children, encouraging them to ask questions and explore their faith. Parents should also ensure that children have access to quality Islamic education through the local mosque, Anssar Academy. And by actively engaging in their children's Islamic education, parents can help them to develop a deeper understanding and appreciation for their faith and prepare them for success. I would like to reference the Quran, chapter 13, verse 11, in which it states, "Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves." In other words, parents should lead by example and show their children the importance of Islam through their actions at home if they are not already doing so.
Well, as a new father myself, I adamantly believe the role of the parents is to guide our children to the best of our abilities, showing them great patience as they make mistakes as they grow, and advocating what is in their best interest as a growing Muslim American and the best interest as parents. The role of parents should be a safe haven as well for our children, and who they can come to us without the fear of becoming grounded or having their PlayStation 5 taken away. and if and when they admit their mistakes. As our children transition into their teenage years and eventually into adulthood, I firmly believe that our role as parents, it should be a safe cushion where our children can rely and go to whenever they may be in a dilemma. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think parents definitely have probably one of the most important roles when it comes to a child's Islamic education, which obviously is a lot of pressure, you know, having to be responsible for your child becoming, you know, the strong Muslims that we want them to be is something that's very overwhelming, especially with the increasing pressures of today's time. It can seem like a very daunting task, but obviously as parents, you're going to be your child's first real exposure to Islam. So I think it's important to do so in a way that's inviting and safe and welcoming to your child. And I feel like there's many different ways in which you could do this. And I think one of those ways that was mentioned before is just leading by example, being someone who represents the qualities that you want in your own children, being someone who, you know, making prayer a thing that like you do with your family instead of praying alone and then telling your kids to pray, making it something that feels safe for your children. And I think another way that that can happen is also by making Islam something that's fun and inviting, reading books with your children. Alhamdulillah, in today's day and age, there are so many Muslim authors and creators. So being able to allow your children to access the stuff that they're going to watch anyways, like cartoons, but make them like Islamic cartoons. That way they're learning about their deen and they're seeing, you know, like a hijabi character and feeling like, okay, I'm not alone in this. So that's a way that can be really fun and inviting for, especially for the younger youth. And then I think one of the most crucial ways and one of the ways I learned was also through, you know, Sunday school and these types of programs, after school programs. It's not something that you have to tackle alone. There's a community that you have accessible here that, you know, educators and shuyukh that are here to provide that education to your children. So I definitely encourage like Anssar Academy, shameless plug, but yeah, Anssar Academy and Sunday school programs to establish that strong foundation. And yeah, just in general, like if you love Islam, your children will feel that. And making it something special for them too. Also a little thing, for my family recently, we've been making like Ramadan and Eid something more special by decorating and giving gifts. And I feel like by making sure that Islam is something celebrated in your household, kids are not going to be feeling left out as much, I think. But yeah.
I want to harp on community because I think to me, community is kind of how I've grown to love Islam even more. You know, there's a saying that you are the people that are closest to you. You are the 4 people that you're closest to, and I think it's so important for those 4 people to be people that reflect Islamic values and that you feel comfortable kind of being shaped by. And so, especially youth programs like Anssar Academy, Sunday schools, just being around other Muslims, whether at the masjid, especially outside the masjid, I think is incredibly important. And so, you know, exactly all what you're doing here right now. I know it's so hard to wake up on a Sunday morning to bring your kids to youth group. And I mean, I've been there myself wanting to sleep in and not come on a Sunday morning to youth group. But that act of doing that and bringing your kids here to an Islamic setting where they're becoming really good friends with other Muslims and you know, going through the struggles of growing up together with these other Muslims as close friends. I think that alone has a lot of value and is, I think, a really important role that parents play in their students getting a strong Islamic background.
Thank you so much. In closing, we just wanted to add that Anssar Academy is working on expanding its school, bringing both secular as well as Islamic education for your children so that students can receive a whole holistic education. If you have any questions, please direct your questions to Sister Hawida. She's so proactive and dedicated and just a wonderful principal. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. So mashallah, alhamdulillah, shukr, the program has been great. Inshallah, you're all enjoying it. Now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, who is mashallah, well known in the community, a very good brother, well respected. He's also the current chairman of the Shura Council of Southern California, and also the religious director of the Islamic Center of Yorba Linda. Please welcome Dr. Ahmad Sabah to the podium.
Center.
No. Okay.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Can you hear me? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى تابعيهم ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to say the best and protect us from saying the wrong. And we ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering and gather us under the shade of His throne on the day of judgment, the same way He gathered us this afternoon. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that all of us will be guided to Jannah as a group, the group of Anssar Academy, insha'Allah. First, I'd like to congratulate the organizers for a very well organized program. I was told I'll be speaking around this time, and alhamdulillah, it was absolutely great to see that everything is going on time. They started sharp on time, and it looks like they'll be ending on time as well. And that is something very applaudable, and I really appreciate that we as a community, we started paying attention to these little things. One day I was invited to give a speech or a talk at a city, with the city council, an invocation, and I got a call from the organizers telling me, sorry, we're going to be running late. Instead of starting at 6:30, we'll be starting at 6:40. I laughed. 10 minutes, that's nothing between us, man. Sometimes I go to an event and I wait for an hour and a half before the time that I was supposed to talk at, and it's very disrespectful for people when we do not pay attention to that little thing. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for starting on time and being on time. I'd like to express my respect for this beautiful setup. When I walked in, I was like, man, this is beautiful. To have these beautiful things, yes, absolutely. That when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us, Inna Allaha jamilun yuhibbul jamal. Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. Have you ever asked yourself, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create the flowers that way? So beautiful, so pretty with colors. Why did He create fish in the bottom of the ocean that are so colorful and nice? Why? Because Allah is Jamil, Yuhibbul Jamal. Why did Allah create these beautiful constellations in the universe and the space that are millions and billions of miles away from us? And no one's there to see them. Because Allah is Jamil, Allah is beautiful, and He loves beauty. So keep that philosophy, keep that mindset, that when you do something, do it with beauty, do it with perfection. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Allah yuhibbu idha amila ahadukum amalan an yutqinah. Allah likes it. When you do something, you do it with perfection. And this reflects on the way you're running your school, insha'Allah. If this is how you run your events, if this is how you decorate your graduation, that gives me a good feeling that your school also is ran in such a beautiful and an organized manner, insha'Allah. So thank you for that. Now, let us ask ourselves this question. How many of you have kids who went to Anssar Academy? Raise your hand. MashaAllah. How many of you ask yourself, why am I going to this event today? Why am I here today? What am I doing in the Sunday afternoon? I'd rather be sitting down on my couch watching a movie or going out with my family to a restaurant or to the park. But you chose to come to this graduation and this short fundraising part of it. Why? Why are you here? You all are here because of your children. Let me ask you another question. Are your children important to you? Are they? Do you have everyone who does have children? Who has children regardless, at Anssar or outside Anssar? MashaAllah, everyone, almost. Are your children important to you? Why? Why are your children important to you? I'll answer. I don't have Starbucks card, but I'll answer it. There are so many reasons we can answer why our children are important to us, but let me share with you 3 or 4 reasons to make sense why we are here on a Sunday afternoon. Our children are important for us, first of all, because they are an amana. They are a trust. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be asking us about them on the Day of Judgment. How did you raise up your children? What did you do to make them good people? What did you do to teach them their religion and their faith? Now what happens, what they do in their lives after that, that's not in our control. But we will be asked about the efforts and the time and the money we spent to make sure that our children grow to become good Muslims, good humans, good citizens. Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. Each one of you is like shepherd, and you will be asked about your flock. You'll be asked about your children, as a mother, as a father. Now, even the prophets did not control what their children do. Prophet Nuh, his son was a kafir. But he tried, he did his best. So the outcome is not in your hand, but the effort that you'll be asked about on the Day of Judgment. One day they asked a scholar, how many children do you have? His answer was so beautiful. He said, عِنْدِي لِلَّهِ سَبْعَةُ أَطْفَالٍ. I have with me, as a trust for Allah, 7 children. In other words, these are not my children, they are an amana that Allah trusted me with them. So if we look at our children as amanas, as trust, that Allah will ask us about them, we know, you know what, it's important. I'm going to have to try my best to give them the best education and the best treatment. When you are taking your children to their doctor's appointment, when you tell them make sure you brush your teeth 3 times a day, when you make sure that they are going to learn their Quran and Islam Studies at Anssar Academy, you're doing your job and your responsibility. And not only that, Allah will reward you for that. And that gets me to the second reason why our children are important. Because they are a good source of what? Money? No. Hasanat. Good deeds. Right? Each one of us will be going on the Day of Judgment. And if you raise your children up properly, every single good thing they do comes to you. A man will be walking on the Day of Judgment and he will see a huge mountain of good deeds. He will say, Ya Allah, I know myself, I did not do all this. Allah will say, you did not, but you raised up a child who did all this. And you get the credit for it. Every single letter of Quran, your son or your daughter read because you taught them, or you took them to Anssar Academy to learn, every letter they read, you get the ajr for it. When these 4 young, beautiful youth in the panel were talking about their pride in their being Muslims, and how they want to practice their faith in their lives, and how they want to continue that legacy for many generations, until their further grandchild, you will get the credit and the hasanat for that every time they do good deeds. That's not a Ponzi scheme. That's exactly how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards. Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, الدال على الخير كفاعله. Every time you teach someone to do good, you get the ajr for it, as if you've done it. And the hadith that was mentioned earlier, that your deeds will stop adding to your credit after you die, except one of them is through a child who will do good deeds on your behalf. So that's another reason why our children are important. First, we said because they are a trust. Second, because they are a good source of hasanat. A third reason why our children are important, because we love them. We love our children more than anyone else. We love them more than our own selves. The reason why a mother stays up at night when her son is having a fever, because that's the love of a mother. The reason the father goes and works hard and sacrifices his time and energy and health for the sake of his children, because he loves them. I can tell you about many parents who are not financially strong or able to buy everything they want. They would go to the store in the intention to buy something for themselves, and then they see something that their child would like to have it, and they say, you know what? I'll just get it to my son. I'll just get it to my daughter. And that is a reality, because we love them more than we love ourselves. We love our children to the point that we would not mind if they are better than us. You know, if I ask any of you, let's say you're an engineer, and I tell you, that engineer is better than you, how would you feel? You'll feel jealous. But if I tell you your son is a better engineer than you feel proud, right? If I tell you, sister, you're a doctor, there is a doctor who's better than you, you'll feel jealous. But if I tell you your daughter is a better doctor than you, you'll feel proud, right? If you go, brothers, visit someone's house, and it happened that the host, the wife of the house, cooked something, and she did it better than your wife, don't tell her she cooks it better than you, right? You'll sleep on the couch that night, right? But if you tell her your daughter did it better than you, she'll be very happy and proud, right? Because we love them more than we love our own selves. That's why they're important. And this is something that needs to be conveyed and transferred and told to our children, that we love them more than we love ourselves. Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam became blind because of the amount of crying that happened when he lost his son Yusuf. That's how much a father feels pain when something bad happened to their children. You know, when kids go to non-Islamic public schools, for example, if my daughter goes, my children all went to Islamic school full time, because I could not bear the feeling if someone goes to my daughter and says, you're a terrorist. That hurts me. That hurts me for someone to bully my son because he's Muslim, because he doesn't eat pork, because he's fasting in Ramadan. That hurts me. That hurts me when someone tells my son, oh, you do not date? You're not going to the prom? Man, you're missing out. That hurts me. And that's why we are here tonight. Another reason why our children are important, the normal verbiage, the normal words we say, they are the future of our community. Yesterday we had the annual banquet of the Shura Council, and many of you were there last night. We have a lot to do to work on our community's future. We need to prepare young people who are well established in their faith, proud of their identity, and mastering the secular knowledge that they have in the Word, so they can lead our communities in the future. Who's going to be the chairman of the masjid in 20, 30 years? Who's going to be the imam who gives the khutbahs in 30, 50 years? In 100 years, none of us will be here, by the way. Are we preparing the future generation for this? Are we preparing them so they can be better than us? So they can run the masajid better than us? I'm not saying we're bad, but we want them to be better. We want them to stand on our shoulder and reach further stages. So that's why our children are important for us. And I'm sure you can find other reasons besides those. So what are we doing here today? We are here to support an amazing organization called Anssar Academy. I don't think there is another Islamic school in the area, is there? Is there a brother, Dr. Taif, is there any other Islamic school in Rancho Cucamonga? So it is sad. How far? Fontana, that's far. And Rancho, that's the only one, right? So why do we have to drive for an hour to go to an Islamic school? We need something here. And it's great that you're providing Sunday schools and Saturday night programs and after hours. That's amazing. But you should shoot for adding a full-time school as well. Because it makes a difference when your son or your daughter memorize the dua of the mornings. I am an imam, right? I'm a religious director of a masjid. I don't have the ability to teach my children every single day the du'as. But they memorize it from their school. Because every day they go in the morning, they repeat the du'as, they read the Quran. And we don't need to keep asking ourselves this question, do I choose between good Islamic education or good academic education? We need them both together. And that's why we're here this evening. We need to support Anssar Academy. I've heard the amazing news that you bought a property next door. Takbir. This is amazing, by the way. That not only you bought it, it's paid off. Not only it's paid off, it's already taken care for the remodeling and to be ready to serve our community. Not only that, we got the permit and the okay from the city to have it as a school. Am I right? So it's all for us ready on a silver platter. What else do we need? So it's a very small price to support and give some donations. I understand that the annual budget, the expense is $100,000, $120,000. And the collections from tuition is about half of that. So the remaining amount of it, what are we going to do about it? Are we willing to invest in our children and our communities? Yes, inshallah. Yes, why that we're here today. There are envelopes being spread around. Make sure that you add your name to that. And it doesn't have to be paid today. You have the whole year. You have the whole school year to support. If each one of us pledge for $1,000 for the year, that's $50,000, $60,000 today. That's less than $100 a month. That's cheaper than, I don't want to say a cup of coffee every day. I want to say 4 pieces of gulab jamun. Or 4 pieces of ma'mool. That's nothing. If each one of us say, you know what, I'm going to write down on the pledge form that the same amount I pay for my cell phone bill, I will pay it every year to the school. It's a small price for such an amazing institution. You know, it might cost us money to take our kids to school every day. It might cost us money to donate to this school. But let me tell you something. To see your own son or your own daughter recites Quran better than you, that's priceless. To see your own children know about Khawla ibn al-Azwar that you never heard about her in your life, that's priceless. To see them proud of their faith when other Muslim kids from other areas are struggling and suffering to say they're Muslims, that's priceless. So let's make sure that each one of us, even if it's a small amount, write your name on the pledge. Because yadullahi ma'al jama'ah. When we all put our hands together and write that down, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless the efforts. And the money that we donate will do even more, inshallah. So I ask you that each one of us will write something on the form, give it to the volunteers who are walking around, and while you're doing that, ask yourself and tell, Ya Allah, I'm giving this for your sake. I ask you to protect my children with it. I ask you to protect them from all kinds of harms. I ask you to protect them from anything that I do not like. Because none of us would like to see our children sick. None of us would like to see our children in a car accident. None of us would like to see our children doing haram. None of us would like to see our children going through failures in life. So when you are given this donation, make this dua. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that all of us will be among those who will be gathered with our children on the day of judgment with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in al-Firdaus al-A'la. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair, everybody, and thank you so much for waiting. We greatly appreciate everything. We do have a finale for you. It's coming up right now. So I'm just going to move the podium and the mic, and inshallah we'll have the finale, and then afterward we'll have our food and kids to play. So, barakallah fikum. We'll go ahead and bring the kids now to front.
All right, we have one more special treat for you all today. So as we come to the end of this program, we'd like to invite you to sit back and listen to a beautiful nasheed recitation by the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade Anssar program. They'll be singing 2 nasheeds praising Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This will be led by Ibrahim Khan and Mustafa Khan.
The mic is gonna fall. The mic.
Change your plan.
لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله. Such a beautiful creation, mortal eyes had never seen, nor had woman given birth to one so perfect and pristine. pristine, so complete in form and meaning, and from every blemish free, as if he had been created just the way he'd want to be. La ilaha illallah, 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 Muhammad Rasulullah, alayhi salatullah. Best of those who ever lived or ever walked upon the earth, sinless since the blessed day on which his mother gave him birth. No one ever saw before, and nor thereafter ever sees, like the Prophet in his inward and his outward qualities. La ilaha illallah, 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 Muhammad Rasulullah, alayhi salatullah. He was one of Bani Adam, but between himself and them was as though mankind were stones, and as though he a priceless gem. Never should we think that by these words the Prophet has been raised. Rather, through his blessed mention, it's our words that have been raised. La ilaha illallah, 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 Muhammad Rasulullah, alayhi salatullah. قمر قمر سيدنا النبي قمر وجميل 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 سيدنا النبي وجميل وكف المصطفى كالورد نادي الله الله وعطرها يبقى إذا مست أيادي الله الله وكف المصطفى كالورد نادي الله الله وعطرها يبقى إذا مست أيادي الله الله وعم نوالها كل العباد وعم نوالها كل العباد وعم نوالها كل العباد حبيب الله يا خير البرايا قمر 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 سيدنا النبي قمر وجميل 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 سيدنا النبي وجميل.
Beautiful, mashallah. Let's give one final round of applause. So that's a wrap. That's the end of our program here for this evening. Thank you all for coming and supporting the students all throughout this year, really. I want to take a second to extend a big, big thank you to all our teachers who make this happen and for all the love and support that you pour into our students here. So thank you, teachers. And one few announcements before we end. We'll be having Anssar prayer here in the main musalla starting soon, so stand by for that. And we have lots of food and games and activities outside, so we have a fun evening ahead of us still. So yeah, looking forward to the rest of the evening with you all.
Here.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
استووا استقيموا فاعتدلوا الله أكبر
الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. 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 السلام عليكم ورحمة